We're ready to continue on with the settings for our final render. So let me just open the render setup. Let's switch to the render elements tab and let's talk about this for a while. So render elements are basically parts of the render that are processed and can be rendered out as a separate image so you can have more options in post-production. So we have a lot of render elements and it's a very long and very complex subject. But for this course, we're going to use one single render element, which is the V-Ray wire color, which is this one right here. So the V-Ray wire color will make a separate image with different colors for every geometry based on their color on the 3ds Max interface. And that is very important because it will make selection of different areas of your render very easy in Photoshop. So we're going to use V-Ray colors so it's easier for us to replace our sky. So I'm going to select V-Ray wire color and I'm going to click OK. And when it comes to saving automatically these images, you have only one option. You have to disable the V-Ray frame buffer. So if you want to automatically save both the image and the render element, you have to disable the frame buffer. Once you do that, Max will save automatically based on the settings that you have here. Okay? So now that we've done that, let's change back to the resolution that we were fixing in our previous clip. So we fixed all the resolution in the lights. Now we need to fix the resolution in every single material. So the process is pretty much the same. Every single object that you don't have a glossiness of 1 in either the reflectivity or the refractivity, you need to increase the subdivs. So if you have a glossiness of 1, you don't have to worry about that. But if it is anywhere lower than 1, you need to increase this. So I'm going to put 64 as well for every single part. Now remember, in this case of the frosted glass, for example, we have a glossiness of 1, the reflection, so I don't need to mess with this one. But I don't have a glossiness of 1 in the refraction, so I did increase this one. So you only increase where you need to increase. So I'm going to open all the materials and do that. So I'm going to just fast forward this real quick. Okay, so I'm done with the subdivs of every single material that I don't have a glossiness of 1. Once I've got that done, let's switch back to our render setup so that we can adjust some of the common features of our render. The first thing we need to increase here is the output size. So we have our resolution selected, but it's not in the size that we want. You can choose either of these presets, or you can type in a value that you like, and it will follow with the same proportion. Once you're done with that, let's scroll down to the render output so we can choose a place and a format to save our file. So I'm going to click on Files, and I'm just going to select a name, Final Render 01 for this one. And I'm going to make the file an OpenEXR. That file contains more color and light information, so it's very useful for Photoshop. If the setup doesn't open, you can click on Setup here and just make sure that the format is always full float. So select full float, click OK, click on Save, and now you have your file ready to be auto-save since we already disabled the frame buffer. Okay, so that concludes our common settings for this one, and in our next clip, we're going to focus our attention on the other settings that V-Ray has to offer for us. So I'll see you guys then.